Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. I'm joined by Regina Faticanti,
Morning.
School professor and a member of the Sheriff's Office, and Jose Cervantes, who is a Mason around here, and also has some association with WCAP, the radio station. Need I say, national debt is up. Temperature was 49 coming in, going to 70. Rain this weekend. So, in 1762, Trevi Fountain is officially completed and inaugurated in Rome. John, you've been to Trevi Fountain?
Sorry, I'm tasking on some details over here, getting Facebook going.
And the Trevi Fountain is still operating, correct?
Yeah.
Still famous.
I have been by the Martha and I have been by the Trevi Fountain. In 1804, the Lewis and Clark expedition officially began as the Corps of Discovery, departing from St. Charles, Missouri. In 1807, a grand jury indicted former Vice President Aaron Burr on charge of treason. He beat the charge.
Okay, so what did he do? I read this last night and I thought, okay, must ask Cliff. What did he do?
He tried to set up a separate country.
Within
Down
the U.S.?
south.
Okay.
In 1819, the SS Savannah leaves port in Savannah, Georgia, on a voyage to become the first steamship to cross the Atlantic Ocean. Pretty good. 1826, HMS Beagle departs on its first voyage, leading eventually to all those discoveries and eugenics. That wasn't good. In 1849, future U.S. President Abraham Lincoln is issued a patent for an invention to lift boats over shoals, making him the only U.S. president to ever hold a patent. That's pretty good. He's also, along with his successor, Andrew Johnson, the only president to not graduate from high school.
I was shocked when I read that last night.
But, 1856, Congressman Preston Brooks of South Carolina severely beats Senator Charles Sumner of Massachusetts with a cane in the hall of the U.S. Senate for a speech Sumner had made regarding Southerners and slavery.
So did Sumner make a speech saying slavery was bad?
Yeah.
Which he was right.
Yes,
And so apparently, Brooks didn't like that.
right,
Brooks must have felt that slavery was okay, and that's why he beat Sumner.
yeah.
The
He
cane
was
at that.
insulting to Southerners in general.
Okay.
In 1872, during Reconstruction, President Ulysses S. Grant signed the Amnesty Act, restoring full civil and political rights to all but about 500 Confederate sympathizers, trying to bring the country back together. And speaking of patents, in 1906, the Wright brothers were granted a patent for their flying machine. By that point, we'd issued over 800,000 patents in the U.S. 1939, Germany and Italy signed the Pact of Steel.
What was that?
That they agreed that they would hang together, and they did. In the war
Yeah, they
that
sure did.
started at the towards the end of '39. 1942, Mexico entered the Second World War on the side of the Allies. 1964, President Lyndon Baines Johnson launches the Great Society program. And it turned out not to be such a great program. 1942, Ted Kaczynski, American academic and mathematician turned anarchist and serial murderer, was born. He died in 2023, the Unabomber.
I think Ted Kaczynski may have had some serious mental health issues as a result, turning him into the Unabomber, because he was brilliant,
Yes,
absolutely brilliant. And his brother is the one who turned him in, because his brother recognized his style of writing. But I think poor Ted, unfortunately, had some serious mental health issues.
I think you're right. That today, in 1802, Martha Washington, the First Lady, passed away. She'd been born in 1731. So she had a pretty good run of it. Today's Harvey Milk Day in California. Moving right along, International Day of Biological Diversity.
And if we're talking about Harvey Milk, we should talk about another congressman who just passed away, the first openly gay congressman in the United States.
Barney Frank.
Barney Frank. And the way Barney Frank came out, he was doing an interview I forget, with the Washington Post or some newspaper, and the columnist said, "So, Congressman Frank, are you gay?" And Barney said, "Yeah, so what?" And that's how he that's how he came out as being gay. What was that, 1987? Sometime around
Yeah.
there, and it was like no big thing. Yeah, so what? He said, "Yeah, so what?"
Back then, that was a big thing. though.
You know what?
That
You're
was a
right.
big,
It
big
was
deal
a
back
very
then.
big
Are
thing.
you kidding me?
But he made it not a big thing. He said, "Yeah, so what?" Like, on to the next thing. Okay, on to the next thing. Okay, all right.
Yeah, flags are at half-staff for Barney Frank.
Yes, absolutely.
Today's U.S. National Maritime Day, National Sovereignty Day in Haiti, and it's World Goth Day, for
Yeah.
those of you. Yeah.
I think I'm going to be skipping that one.
So, 2 weeks ago, there was a mention of Julian of Norwich, who was born in 1373. And I totally plummered the discussion of who Julian of Norwich was, I associated her with the cloud of unknowing and the cloud of forgetfulness, which came out about 50 years later. So the book that Julian of Norwich wrote is about God's love for us and the passion of Jesus. It's called The Revelation of Divine Love, and it came to her in a series of images as she was laying in bed sick, thinking she was about to die. She didn't live a while longer and wrote that book. The Cloud is about how...
Cliff has 2 more minutes on history, and then we're gonna talk about donuts.
Excuse me, we're not talking history now.
I see the donuts.
No, John, you were
Are
confused.
you off history?
I'm talking about God right now.
Are you off history?
Yeah, I'm on to God.
Oh, okay, when Cliff's done talking about God, we're gonna talk about donuts.
Okay, I saw the donuts.
So, the author says God cannot be understood via reason or intellect, but only through love. He says, by love may he be gotten and holden, but never through thought. The text recommends the cultivation of 2 mental states. The cloud of forgetting, temporarily setting aside one's knowledge and intellect, and the cloud of unknowing, God dwells beyond human understanding.
Oof, that's some pretty deep thinking.
Who's the texter?
Unknown.
What?
Unknown, okay, so it could be a communist, okay. So,
Excuse me, no.
donuts.
Because of the date, it could not be a communist.
You dated this texter, okay, that's good.
It was the
So,
first communist ever, right,
Look
John?
at these donuts here going around the room. Jeff Thomas put this on his Facebook page this morning, and I said, this is a good question. Clifford, what donut are you taking for you? Because people will say, oh, you always get Cliff this. What's your favorite donut there?
The Boston cream.
Where is the Boston cream? Over here?
Right boxed, yeah.
Okay, so you want the Boston cream. Jose?
I don't see any glazed donuts there. If I'm having a coffee,
This
if
is chocolate honey dipped. This is glazed right here.
I'm tired, so I'd be having a coffee, I'd go for that old fashioned right there in the middle.
This guy?
Yeah, with a coffee, nothing better. Nice and salty. Oh,
Oh, yes.
and I like I like a little bit of coffee with my cream and sugar. So one of those.
Yes.
Regina?
I'm drooling.
I'm taking that chocolate glazed.
Oh, these guys right here.
No, the
Chocolate
the
frosting.
chocolate frosted.
Right over here?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Because I'm with Jose. I like that sweet salty.
Mm.
Yep. That
With-
sweet salty. Yep.
That chocolate frosting
Yeah.
with a nice ice cold
Yeah.
cup of
Oh,
coffee.
yeah.
I mean,
Hot cup of coffee, yeah.
Of milk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
I'm taking this Bismarck over here, which has marshmallow and jelly in.
Oh, I didn't even see that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That's
might-
what I'm taking.
I might skip the coffee and go with one of those with John.
Oh, those
So
look
that could be your
fabulous.
second donut. We have, thanks to Jeff Thomas, a bounty full of imagination here. Back over to Cliff.
So,
Woke me right up.
when are they being delivered?
They're not. They're donut thoughts. They're thoughts.
That's what Cliff's worried about. Are they being delivered? Unfortunately, Cliff, they're not. These are like the saint that we were just talking about. These are also in our imagination.
My guess is Jeff's bringing them to his job site today. I think Jeff's building the new Rook Bridge.
Ah,
So look at how disappointed Cliff is. Cliff, we're sorry.
no, my disappointment now is at the Rourke Bridge.
Well, the construction workers on the Rook Bridge are going to have a good morning.
They
That's
deserve it.
true. So, inflation may be coming. A guy, Walter Luther, an associate professor at Florida Atlantic University, said about the tariffs, they weren't the main problem then, and the tariffs and higher oil prices aren't the chief culprit now. even if those problems recede and nothing else changes, we won't solve the inflation issue. The Fed needs to address the root cause, and that's huge excess spending in the overall economy. And
And I think that I could agree. I could concur.
so inflation is a fault of the homeless who are not out producing goods people want to buy. So we have too much money chasing too few goods. And if you print money but no one is producing the goods to buy with the money, you get inflation. More money chasing fewer goods.
Do you think that having big government, too big government, contributes to inflation?
Oh, I think
Yes.
so, yeah.
Absolutely. And we've seen some of those problems out in Michigan where we've now all the rampant the rampant stealing of money because nobody was watching the store. And we're going to find that. We found it in Massachusetts. That's coming to light now. And we're going to find that pretty much, I could probably assume in every state. I know what assume means, but I wouldn't doubt that we're going to find that all over. We're not with all that.
Regina,
Yes?
nothing's going to happen.
I
Everybody
know.
cheats on their taxes. That's fraud on the U.S. government.
Yeah.
When you cheat on your taxes, it's fraud on the U.S. government. And if you want to complain, they're going to write your name down. Well, check her books.
Yeah,
So that's why nobody's going to complain about this.
right.
But do we really think that this fraud and abuse and all that fun stuff just started in 2024?
No.
When,
No,
when
that's
we
like-
heard it on the TV, when they told
No.
us about it, let's be
No.
honest
I
here.
don't want to get off topic, but I mean, Tommy Golden in his rant. So, Tommy, all this overtime abuse only started to happen last week?
Right.
Didn't happen last year and the year before? Well, the Texas sidestep guy. Back over to Cliff.
Yeah. The real problem with inflation is when it gets out of control and it destroys the economy. Germany in the early 20s, Greece, 20 years ago.
Oh, yes. The whole economy of Greece fell. Their money was worthless. And we sat here in the United States and said, ooh, poor Greece. Ooh, people who had vacations said, oh, we're not going to go. And that could be us if we're not careful.
How much of it's a sleight of hand, though? I thought Wall Street was doing better than ever, and we were making more money than ever. So how is it that in a time where we're making more money than we ever have, now we're yelling inflation? But you know what? The top 1%, the top 10%, the top 40%, they're not worried about inflation. But now we're looking for fraud and abuse on, and not defending anything, but on DTA, on taking care of the homeless, stuff like that. But what are we looking at the fraud and abuse on? I mean, that tax break,
Right.
the corporate tax break. How much money do you think that 2% that everybody was cheering for took out of the economy? How much?
Price of gold's up to $4,500.
But that's inflation right there, right? That's how bad we're. I mean, come on. At the end of the day, we all know the games they play. You know, you want a donut, Cliff? I'm bringing you crackers. It's inflation.
On the other hand, the rich do pay
good.
a
That was good.
disproportionate amount of income tax.
What is it?
The rich pay a disproportionate amount of income tax.
We can also present the argument that the undocumented
Yeah?
provide a significant amount of income tax that they never get to claim and see the benefits of. Because they said they buy goods, they rent apartments, they spend money here, and then all those, 1099, all types of unclaimed taxes. I mean, it's just different facts that I've read, well, alleged facts. They provide into the economy on things that they'll never actually cash in on. So imagine how bad inflation would be if we get rid of all those billions of dollars that they'd never get to benefit from. So, I mean, do the rich really pay their fair share?
I think the top 1% pay 39% of the income tax.
Yeah, but on how much of that wealth? Like even that thing in New York. Oh, they're trying to tax people on. Yeah, they're trying to tax people on the. And I'm not defending anything. On their second home that they don't live at, that's worth, $40 million. That's just a summer apartment for them to go buy a Gucci bag. I mean, we gotta stop playing this game of red, blue, bad, blue. And it's the lower middle class like me that's getting dragged by the collar and getting strangled while we defend rich people, while we kick the poor. We gotta call truth to power, whether it's at City Hall or at Washington or at the State House. The real fraud is what they're doing up there, not what the little brown guy or the person asking for a buck is doing. But that's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. What do I know?
Yeah, but Elon Musk has created more jobs in the United States than all the homeless people.
Elon Musk owes me $2,000. Last time I checked, remember, he's gonna find so much money. But yeah, he found so much money in his pocket. Nice SpaceX contracts and all that. He became a trillionaire or whatever off of that.
He's the first trillionaire.
Off of that stunt, that's when it happened. I'm gonna kick the people out of the homeless shelters while I become a trillionaire. We gotta stop entitling people that I hope when we stand together in the filth, we don't look at clean people like they're better than us. All we need is a shower, and we're equal to them too at the end of the day. Your money does not equate to your value. We got to stop doing that. But again, sorry. I'm tired. I slept like 2 hours last night, so.
No,
Oh,
don't.
I was feeling bad because I only got 6 hours. Obviously, I did well.
Oh, I was on the phone, with everything that's happening in the community. I was just on the phone call after phone call. I literally got home, and as soon as I got out of work from 6, got 10 minutes to take a shower. I don't even think I had dinner last night. And I was just on the phone. Because we got to make sure we get the facts correct. And, like Cliff said, I'm associated with WCAP. Maybe next week you'll hear an announcement that I'll be
I think that would be wonderful to hear a new voice at CAP.
Will you hear one today after here?
Kindly look at the camera. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
That would be fabulous.
It's not radio.
That would
No,
be
I
absolutely fabulous.
Thank you for that, sir. I was actually going to look for something before I went on my little rant, and then I got distracted. That's
Well,
why I
when
was
you're
looking
talking
down.
to the audience, you should look at the audience.
Hearing a new
Thank
voice
you,
on
sir.
CAP would be wonderful, considering John and I are former hosts at CAP, and we had a great time at CAP, and I will always cherish my time there. Thank you, Morris. I had a great time. John was a great co-host. We had a ball at CAP. Cliff was there with us. But it would be a wonderful opportunity to see a new host at CAP. That would be exciting.
Well, that was the thing that was kind of making me a little hesitant, because I seen the list of to me, legends in that on that, and not to fluff anybody's pillow, whatever term you want to use here, and it's like, look at these amazing people that came before me. Who the heck am I? But
Listen.
we'll give it a try. We fall on our face. I'll go back to laying bricks, which I'm gonna keep doing anyways.
Right, and something, we all had jobs too, and our good friend George and I did the morning together, and that's how I met Cliff, and then I went to the afternoon with John and Ryan, and just we had Morris allowed us to do just wonderful things on the radio. We had a great time. When I think of some of the things that we did, John and I were just actually talking about this the other day, some of the stunts that we did.
I can only imagine.
No, you can't believe it. It was a time when radio in the city of Lowell was huge. And we actually had 2 radio stations, and so they were very competitive, and it was great. And I'm glad that we still have a radio station in Lowell, because I think that we need one. It's important for people to be able to turn on the radio and get the news and find out what's going on, especially if there's a crisis. I think it's very important.
Well, that's what I'm hoping.
Yes.
We could bring it somewhat back to its heyday where, people actually tune in, people actually like have the conversation. Like,
Right.
oh, did you hear what? Oh, I can't wait to
Right.
hear what they say about this tomorrow. I wonder who's gonna call in
Right.
and say something about and I'd like to. I hear all the history of that radio station being intertwined with the community, and I'd like to hopefully bring that back. But sorry, Cliff,
The
Is
best
the
thing,
music going to go away?
we've already been changing it up. I mean, we're not going into like 2000s, but we're bringing in more like the 60s and 70s, 80s. More like a little classic rock, a little kind of and nothing against it, but I'm sorry, listening to the Beatles and today, Beatles in behind all day, every day. Try to bring in a little bit more of a.
gotta change it up a little bit. Yep, I agree.
Okey-doke.
Yeah.
So my question is, are we turning into England here in the United States?
So tell me why you're asking that question, Cliff. I saw that here and help me understand.
In England, they have become so obsessed with immigrants and not offending anyone that the civil rights of English men and women have gone into the toilet.
See, and I don't want to be England because I think that when you start violating the rights of the people of your own country, you need to take a step back and say, well, wait a minute. When you create an area that people have moved into, and those folks say, we won't let anybody else in here, we won't even let the police in here, then it's gone a little too far. And that's what's happened in England, and I think that's unacceptable.
So we got 5 texts, Regina?
Okay, please. He, Mr. Musk, was treated like a villain because he was given a job by the president to figure out who's stealing our money. Good morning. Ted Kaczynski was a loner who had no friends. Even the family dog didn't like him, and that was from Jay. How about mentioning the spending problem that Americans have? Good text, yes.
If you're not in debt, you're not living.
If elected officials cared, then they would be fighting hard to lower your taxes. That's from Jay. You're right, Jay. Are you degrading a man who worked hard and has created businesses? Please explain your hatred for Mr. Musk.
That's it, thanks. Back to Cliff.
Thank you.
I assume that was aimed at me, the hatred to Musk. I have no hatred to Musk at all. That's the thing. If I say that I don't like the way you shake my hand, that doesn't mean that I don't like talking to you. How much fraud and abuse was found?
Billions.
Billions. So billions in a $1 trillion. I'm not saying he didn't do his job, but he sold us that something that was supposed to be much larger. Nobody stopped him from doing his job. People hated Joe Biden. People hate Donald Trump. People hate me. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing my job. I don't hate Elon Musk. Are you kidding me? The stuff he's doing, stuff he's done. I respect the man. He's a little quirky for me, but I respect him. I mean, that's neither here nor there. But no, there's no hatred. I thought when you said about turning into England, I thought you were talking about like all these events about, how America needs to be a Christian Anglo-Saxon and just kind of go back to the heydays of Great Britain that we've even seen Marco Rubio echo in overseas and stuff like that. Honestly, I thought that's what you meant by that.
Well, I would say that's a characterization that people are using to sort of put down the nation. We owe a lot of gratitude to England.
We also kicked them out of here because they were treating us like crap
Yeah.
And we're celebrating
But-
our 250th birthday.
for a reason, because we didn't want to be part of England or Britain or any of those.
Yeah,
They
but
were
if you
jerks.
follow the threads back, it goes back to England, it goes back to Runnymede back in 1215, and then a little bit to the Netherlands, back to Rome, Greece, and back to the Holy Land. But those are the threads of our unique situation.
But the thread started on us defecting, on us leaving, on us being, this is unfair. I don't have the right to exercise, I don't have a freedom of religion. I don't have the right to, if I speak out of turn, the crown is gonna, shame me and throw me in the streets or execute me. I mean, I'm Mexican. That's no secret.
That's England today.
Yeah, but that's two things in correlation. We left England for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been here. I'm Mexican. I've been in this continent for a while. But the founders left, the settlers left England for a reason. We stood up against the crown for a reason. We did everything possible. We always yell at the Constitution and the founding fathers. The founding fathers made it a priority to isolate themselves as much as possible from becoming England. And now 250 years later, in the wake of, 250 years, now we're literally holding events backed by politicians, backed by people about how we need to go back to being a Christian Anglo-Saxon society. I'm sorry, but to me, that'd be like me going down to Mexico and being like, hey, we got to be Spaniards again.
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm a little tired, so if I'm a little feisty, give me a little kick in the step on my foot, But
I think we forget that
America,
they came
not England,
because they didn't want to be a specific religion. They said, listen, we want to be our own religion. We want to separate from the crown because we want to be able to practice our own religion. And the other issue was, we're looking at a group of people who were unable to be educated because remember, in England, only the titled and the rich had the opportunity for education.
Let's go back to that. So Jose can't get his degree. Because I've been working on that associates for 10 years, but I'll get it one day.
So, yes, you will.
But the thing is, we separated from England because we wanted the rights of Englishmen, and they were being denied to us by the British Crown.
Yes.
So after we fought for them, we should bend the knee.
Well,
I'm sorry, but I see that American flag, and we went to overseas, and we were sitting there talking about how great being a part of Britain and England was. Half the people in this, I want you to read a book, Cliff. You're gonna love it. It's called America: How to Hide an Empire, and it talks about how when we received after the Louisiana Purchase, the people at power at B did not want, and these are white people, these are Americans, I say white people, but you know what I mean.
How many albinos have you seen?
If I go to England, a lot, but anyways. So,
you mean Caucasians?
All right, so Caucasians, and because they weren't English, they were not allowed to have rights.
Right.
The way they talked about them, well, we won't get too into the weeds. The rhetoric towards these Caucasians from Louisiana was worse than what you hear during the before the Civil War. We'll just leave it at that. Use your imagination. So this notion that we're all just one white nation united, it baffles me because you really weren't a white nation united. Right. You were a white nation oppressed by England, by the British. If you weren't British or English descent, you were German, Scottish, whatever it was, you were a piece of gum stuck to the bottom of their shoe. And those are facts. That's history. I've been reading that book or listening to it because I can't wait to talk to you.
This is America: How to Hide an Empire?
Yes, you'll love it. It's great. I'm at the chapter of Teddy Roosevelt, and like I said, I'm tired. He was the president during. Anyways, if I remember, we'll talk about it after the show. You read it, then we'll have a little book club about it. I listened to it, so I'll go. I'm a little ahead of you, but we'll figure it out.
Cliff's a fast reader.
No, I.
So I honor our heritage of ideas And that's what it's about. The First Amendment allows you to have bad ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and it's perfectly legal. I would not be happy, I think, if we had inherited our government and approach from the Aztecs.
Yeah, but did we inherit? I mean, we grabbed something that they were kings and queens.
Yeah.
So like, so we grabbed something and we made it a hell of a lot better. Some people will argue we didn't, but that's their prerogative. So other than the lineage, and again, most people aren't, like, England was a whole different animal. You know that, like, to the rest of Europe. Like, if you were French, Italian, then that means you're less than. So see, see the argument there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So see the argument there. That means that the majority of what now we call Caucasian white people, you guys are all less than.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not British or English.
Okay.
Let's call it for what it is.
Well,
I
we
mean,
have a-
not
we
all
have-
white people are created equal by that standard that they want to go back to.
But we have a term here, WASP.
White Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
So that Germans, Brits, people like that, when we got our freedom, there was no Italy.
No.
There was a bunch of individual little principalities.
What's wrong with
I
the
would argue,
Aztecs?
I would argue maybe there's no Italy yet.
What's wrong with the Aztecs? I mean, we showered. I mean,
Yeah, but did you shower the ones that you executed?
Yeah.
did you shower the Muslims before you executed them in the name of Christ?
Cliff, I think you discount the fact that
More people.
the internet did not exist in 1776. For us to, if I shot you right now, the people in London would not know I shot you for at least 6 months. That's how long it took for news to get from here to there. I don't think anybody who lived in the area that we call the United States of America even knew the Aztecs existed.
Right.
Communication was not what it is today. Knowledge was not what it was today.
No.
All you knew was what your mother told you and what you learned from the field.
Did you not learn about Aztecs in school?
Cliff, they didn't have schools in 1776.
you learned that they
Where
sacrificed.
did one go to school in 1776, Cliff?
You learned that the Aztecs sacrificed 10,000 people, but you didn't learn that they were leading the world in agriculture. You didn't learn that without the Aztecs, you wouldn't have chocolate. You like vanilla?
Agriculture.
You know who gave Madagascar vanilla? The Aztecs. Tomatoes. I mean, there was a reason why when the quote unquote pale faces, when the Spaniards, that wasn't even the English, came to this side of the continent, this side of the world, they were so infatuated in conquering it because they showed up and they saw cities of gold. Yes, it was according to that side of the world. And see, now you're making me feel like I'm attacking America over Mexico, but the whole point is I'm attacking Britain over America. To me, being an American is one thing. It's not a color, it's a pride. And to me, when I hear people taking a knee and kissing Britain's butt, it does not sit well with me because as proud as I am of that Mexican ego on my chest, I'm proud of that American flag. And when I hear people pretty much saying, let's go back to being a white Christian country, an English. All right, so you know what? No tea for you with your crumpets, mister. I get all the tea. I'll go drink
When
Moscato.
have you heard people say that?
They're having an event, or they just had an event that literally was solely based on having a Christian Anglo-Saxon. I mean,
Who had this event?
I'll look it up.
So also the Aztecs.
That's what the good thing about watching both Fox News and
before
CNN.
we settle on it, don't forget the Peruvians who forced John's relatives out of Ireland.
Again, how many people died
I didn't know that.
in during the Crusades or everything like that in the name of Christ? And I'm not bashing it, but we can't sit here and go back to those days like Teddy Roosevelt used to do and talk about Native Americans, that there's no greater pleasure than to slaughter a savage.
Regina, I got 3 texts
We
here.
can't do
Okay.
that.
So
This is
congrats, Jose, on your new gig on local radio. Although they are yesterday, City Life platform is the future. That's from Bart. Freedom of religion. That's comical. Look how the government treated its citizens when it came to religion during the pandemic. Once again, we are judging people on their color, not on their character. Ignorance will always be in society. It doesn't matter what time, date, or year.
silent clapping for that one because it's true.
And we also want to remember that the Aztecs were the first people to figure out how to capture and well water so that people didn't have to go down to the river and get water every day. So I was in Chichen Itza in Mexico.
Back to
Oh,
Cliff.
it's lovely.
yeah, back-
And to see how they had welled water was just absolutely amazing.
And on
So
that note, back to Cliff.
it was incredible. The how forward thinking these people were.
So, we're judging people by color.
Well,
And that's what the Cambridge City Council did on Monday when they voted to stop using the shot spotter devices throughout the city.
so tell me what those were, because I read that and I wasn't sure what that term meant, Cliff.
I was
Explain
going to
that
ask
to
the
me.
same thing.
Microphones.
What?
Microphones around the city picking up gunshots and triangulating them and reporting them to the police.
Okay. So let me understand. So what they're saying is, so that's only in certain neighborhoods of where people of color live. So we're going to stop that. But here's the bottom line. I want to know where there's gunfire. I don't care what neighborhood it's in. The people of that neighborhood deserve to be safe. So we should continue with that practice. I don't care where, I don't care. People should be safe regardless of your color, your creed, your ethnicity. You deserve to be safe.
I'm confident the city of Lowell has a system like ShotSpotter.
And we should.
Unpopular opinion as a brown person, sometimes,
A brown person now.
yes, because we're talking about color and
Right.
all that. So,
I'm a white guy.
Yes, you are.
you're awesome. That's what you. Anyways,
Hold your hand up. Yeah,
I went to Puerto Rico. See, so anyways, so
He works outside too.
yeah, so the tech you just don't see. If
Have
I
you
showed
seen
you my legs,
sister-in-law's beautiful tan?
if I show you
call
my
her a
legs,
brown
I'm
skin.
whiter than. But anyway,
My friend from,
This is
my
white.
friend from
That's my
Columbia
legs.
is whiter than I am. So
this is Caucasian.
I don't wear shorts. That's my legs right there. That piece. Anyway, so sometimes I don't like things like that because when they're I would hope that they're not putting those up because that's where
Just
the brown
because,
people.
right.
But they're putting them up because that's where the largest concentration of gun violence is.
Right.
So sometimes what we forget, and by we I mean the people that are advocating for this, the minorities, is that instead of speaking up against the violence, we're speaking up against, oh, well, you're doing that because you're racist. No, they're doing that because there's a high crime rate
Right.
in your neighborhood.
right.
And yes, could it be perceived, or maybe there's some people making little sly comments that make it appear. So get your house in order, and then that way there you can say, hey, there hasn't been a gunshot here in 2 years. Why are you coming over
Right.
here? Are you profiling us?
Right.
Because we are African
No,
American. You know what I
Jose,
mean?
It's not like that at all.
No, I know. That's what I'm
Not
saying,
like
that
at
it's
all.
not like
Those-
that.
The gunshot microphones that Cliff's referring to are all over Cambridge. If you and I are at odds, and we have a gunfight at 2 o'clock in the morning, who's calling the cops? Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody. Now, should the cops be, because we're up in Belvedere selling drugs at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I get down Fairmount Street, you're going the other way. Oh, I'm going around the block. And you see me, I'm going around the block. And we start peppering each other with bullets. The people are sleeping.
Yeah.
the cops need to come before we start, because I don't practice with my gun, maybe you do. So I'm shooting at you when I'm actually hitting Cliff's windows.
That's true. And
The
all it
cops
takes
need
is
to come.
one stray bullet. One stray bullet.
And I believe that might have happened in the city of Lowell a couple of weeks ago. So,
We just
Well, it
had
happened overnight. There were three
Right.
different shooting incidents.
on Belmont Street, I believe it was, but over there
Oh.
by the reservoir. There was yesterday, the day before, in the morning, 3 shootings. They found rifle casings. But you know
Maybe Belinda will know more, because that's her street. That's where she lives.
the whole point is that sometimes we are too quick to yell, you know. But look at the cause, and let's get our community in order. I
So,
don't care where you are.
so are we going to turn into Rotherham?
I see that, and
What's
I hope not.
Rotherham?
Rotherham is a city in England.
You got it.
Me and John just both looked at each other like, what did he just call me?
God.
Grooming gangs
So
are abusing young.
Birmingham.
Rotherham, it's
Rotherham.
roving gangs of young people who are committing violence, but we are already having that in the United States. And if you turn on the news in the past 2 weeks, we have had incidents of roving gangs of young people committing acts of violence all over the U.S. It's been happening in Chicago. It's been happening in California,
D.C.,
D.C.
down by the Navy Yard.
Right? So it has already been happening here in the U.S.
But these are hot spots. So I remember during the last presidential election, I mean, Chicago was on the news every day, all
Yes.
day, every day. I mean, you couldn't even put on the, Mickey Mouse Club without hearing
Right.
about Chicago, and
Right.
then it just went away. Just
Right.
like the water in Michigan, it just solved itself after the election.
Right.
Well,
I'm going to
so-
start complaining about my bank account. Maybe after the election, that'll fix itself too.
Exit question. If we go the way Cambridge goes, are we eventually going to end up paying reparations to the mafia?
So I don't understand that question. Why are you going to pay reparations to the Mother and Father Italian Association?
Oh, because we've oppressed the mafia.
My people, what are you talking about?
I see what you did there, Cliff.
Mother and Father Italian Association, you know mafia.
Cliff likes to bait people. He's just sometimes Cliff's too smart for his own good.
There's no
And
mafia.
I've been studying him for the last year that I've been here.
Okay.
Why are we paying reparations to the Mother and Father Italian Association?
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm wondering, will it evolve that way? I mean, some municipalities are paying reparations to black people.
Well,
You didn't see that the second he read that. I'm like,
You got to lean into the mic, Jose.
I don't think that, I think that the Mother and Father Italian Association, I think they're doing just fine. I don't think they need any reparations.
Okay.
I think if you go down to Federal Hill in Rhode Island, they're doing okay. If you go down to Jersey, they're doing fine over there too. I think they're doing okay. They don't need any
Okay.
reparations.
All
I'm
right.
gonna miss you, Cliff, because this might be the last time I'm on the show.
Why?
Well, if I do the morning show, I can't. I mean, unless, I
We
can't.
can do a simulcast on a boring day.
Let's go.
Yeah,
We got no
absolutely.
I
guests.
love it.
We can just call up. We'll do a simulcast.
Yes, yeah. I'm just gonna start randomly calling Cliff and just. I heard a new word today, Cliff.
Well, we used to do the word of the day too. So, Cliff, how do you think things went in China? I did not realize that the president brought a whole slew of business people to China with him, and it wasn't until he came back that I heard that the president was dangling all these business people in front of China, saying, "Hey, this is what you could have if you get in line." And I was impressed with that idea. I thought, well, that was pretty smart. That was pretty smart.
He left the AI people at home, though. He didn't want
Yeah.
China to even
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah,
He didn't want them
exactly.
anywhere near
Right,
them.
Yeah, we leave those AI people home.
They don't even get a bottle of water from China.
Cliff, what'd you think?
I thought it went pretty well. We stabilized the Taiwan issue.
Yeah, because can I just say, Taiwan was never part of China. So when China says, we want Taiwan back, whoa, you never had Taiwan to begin with.
But wasn't Taiwan given to China by Japan?
How can you give somebody a country?
Well, I mean,
No, I don't think so.
what happened in Manila? What happened in Puerto Rico?
That's what England used to do.
Yeah, well,
Right.
not just England. Hide an empire. I mean,
France.
Wait, let's stop since you brought up Puerto Rico.
I brought up Manila too. All right, why don't we talk about Manila? Leave Puerto Rico alone.
When
Bad Bunny's still upset.
Wait, when
Cisco's
did
going to get ticked.
Philippines? When did the Philippines become an independent nation?
That was last chapter, but it was 2 days ago, so I don't remember. But I heard about it.
1946, I
Right.
think.
But before that, the $20 million, we went over there. We said, hey, we're going to help you guys because you've been fighting the French, you've been fighting everybody. We're going to help you gain your freedom. And then once the Spaniards were like, we're not giving explicit words their freedom. And they said, all right, well, we'll give you $20 million for the Philippines. And they were like, okay. And then we said, sorry, Filipino people. We're going to take down the Spanish flag, but we're going to put up the American flag. And then we gave them their freedom. So we do that.
And in less than 50 years, they were an independent nation.
Well, yeah, because at that point we probably, and all this colonizing that we did, how people call it, you know what was the beginning of it? Bat poop.
Was what?
Bat poop.
Guano,
Yeah, I can't say that word. Bat poop.
which is actually good energy.
Yeah, but we needed bat poop, and all the English, our brethren, our allies had the trade in control. So we decided, why? They don't like us. We don't like them. So we're just gonna. Argentina, I think it was, has a lot of bat poop. Hi, Argentina. We're gonna kick your butt if you don't give us all your bat poop. That was pretty cool. Hey,
So, do you agree with me that we should turn
Morning,
Puerto
Belinda.
Rico loose?
Just
Either
sit
turn
on the
them
couch
loose or
and
make
get
a
over
mistake.
it. Going to break in a few minutes.
don't leave them in limbo.
Thank you.
I would say, considering that they tried to assassinate President Truman and shot up the Congress, that we ought to say, if 60% of the eligible voters say, yeah, we want to be a state, make them a state, otherwise, cut them loose.
And just because you say shut up, we had a doctor go down there to help the Puerto Rican people, make sure they're healthy. And we can talk about any country, not just to make sure that everybody was healthy in modern medicine. And you know what? He wrote in his memoirs, don't worry, I've been injecting these savages with HIV so we can get rid of them.
Oh,
And he went down there sent by the U.S. government. I only brought that up because you said shut up. I mean, I'm not defending.
When did this happen?
19. It was before we decided to. You know what? We need people to join World War I with us, so you're going to become citizens, so you could fight at the war. You can look it up.
There was no HIV back then.
Well, whatever it was, I'm pretty sure it was HIV. Oh, damn, I don't want to be
Okay,
looking at
Regina,
my
I
phone.
got 7 texts here.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Holy smoke.
gun violence doesn't know color. Bad analogy.
It does not.
I feel bad for anybody driving on Fairmount Street.
That must be Jay.
The courts are the ones that are to blame for lawlessness in the country.
Amen.
Jose said Belmont Street. Belinda lives on Belmont Ave.
I changed it after. I'm tired. I sit down by the reservoir, and I know when it really clicked in what I said after.
So which one is it?
It was by the reservoir,
Up in the Belvedere you're talking about?
Centerville.
Up in my neighborhood.
Yes,
There's no Belmont anything. It's
I know. I misspoke.
Belmont
on the
Street's
thing.
in the high ones.
Yes,
But that's okay. Sorry for the confusion.
Yes.
If AI is going to take over everyone's job, are stockbrokers' jobs in jeopardy? Question mark.
No, they got too much money.
Will Jose do a bunch of useless history at the beginning of his new show? That's from Bart.
No.
Wait,
How
let's
about-
stop for a minute and talk about Bart. What is it about Bart and John that they think that they are immune from history.
Cliff, I don't care what happened in 1777.
You see, you made my point.
I don't care. What happened in 1777? Come on, history buff. 1777. Now, you look all this stuff up.
What date?
And you create it.
Yeah, listen to Cliff. What
Any
date?
date in 1777. And you got 365 days. And the globe to brag about. Please continue reading, Regina.
How about this? We will give people reparations, but if you accept it, then you can't vote. Just a thought.
That's the last one. So back to you guys in time. Michelle, going to break. And Belinda Juran is in the house.
Well, with 2 minutes left, did you see where the Democratic National Committee released the autopsy from the 2024 election? And one of the conclusions was that Kamala Harris didn't go negative enough against Donald Trump. So what I'm wondering is, what is more negative than calling someone Hitler?
I don't know. I think that, and so here's the issue also. And can women go negative? Because sometimes women go negative and they're looked at as a witch with a bee. Men can go very negative and they're not looked at that way.
They looked at strong leaders.
They're looked at strong leaders. But when women go negative, we're looked at as very different types of politicians. And I think that if Kamala had gone more negative, I mean, how much, you're right, Cliff, how much more negative can you get after you call somebody Hitler? Because I think that's kind of scraping the barrel.
And on that note, we're going to go to break. Thank you.
So where are you going to put Belinda?
So Cliff, you have a whole thing here for Belinda.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
get that.
Me neither.
You're on, Cliff.
That's my fault.
That's okay.
So, welcome to Sea Life Show. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. I'm joined by Regina Faticanti on the far side, former school committee member, Jose Cervantes, aspiring radio star, and Belinda Juran, who's on our city council.
Cool. And by the way, I just wanted to say, I like your hair. I think it's
Thank you.
different.
Yes, it is.
It just caught my eye.
My
Sorry.
hairdresser said, "Can I do something different?" And I said, "Sure." And then she went snip. I said, "Okay, that's different."
It's
so,
nice.
but
It
thank
looks
you
good.
very much.
Yeah.
I
Thank
thought you
you.
were talking to me when she said, I was like, oh, baby, you noticed? But
I'm
no,
sorry.
it wasn't me. John noticed the second I walked in.
I rarely see you without your hat, so I don't think I know what your hair looks like. Sorry.
So, how's it going on the city council?
It's going well. I mean, we have a lot of challenges, but, that was inevitable when we understood how the federal budget was going to impact the state budget, which is impacting, all of the municipalities, particularly ones like us that get a lot of, funding from the federal and really state government. So, but that's all right. That's when we lead, is when times are tough.
So, I know it's a tad early, but are you thinking of a second term?
It is I mean, so I am thinking about it in the sense that that's coming up next year.
Right.
But this year, or at least for now, I mean, it's been, almost 5 months, 4.5 months really of work. And this is my focus, is work, and working on the city council and working in the community. So,
Well, speaking of that, from reading the Sun, I got the impression that city manager Tom Golden was in high dudgeon on Tuesday night. It's pounding the table.
oh,
And all that.
I don't remember pounding, but maybe. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't particularly remember.
I mean, but he's upset with the firemen's union?
Well, I think if you read the article, I mean, I think the presentation was about overtime and other costs in the various departments. And
Belinda, did he fool you that this has not been going on for years?
could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Did the manager fool you into thinking this has not been going on for years? And why didn't he catch it 3 years ago?
So I don't think it's, well, in fact, the data shows the last several years. I don't know how that all works.
So why is he having a rant now? It's just show business.
I think so I don't know what is motivating any particular individual other than me, but I think we're in a budget time where tough choices have to be made, and that's a little different than it has been in the past. I also don't know, I don't know how the contracts are written. I don't know, sort of what kind of flexibility there is in terms of, the rules around overtime or any other provisions in the contract. So, I don't know sort of who has what control over what, maybe is the way to put it.
So I don't know if you would know the answer to this, but one big question, because, we can sit here and attack the manager and attack the union all we want, but
Yeah,
that's
and I
not going to
don't
fix
intend to
anything.
do either.
So,
Yeah.
so whose responsibility is it to hire firefighters? Does that fall on the city side or on the chief, on the, I don't think that has anything to do with the union, but does that fall on the chief or the administration? And again, I understand if you don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer, because, I don't know the answer. And I don't know, probably has some involvement by both, I would imagine. That's how it would work in a, in a
So
private setting.
it's the
but I don't know.
administration.
So, and I've known you before, we were campaigning
Yeah,
together.
no,
I knew
I
you
know.
before you were a
Yeah,
candidate. You're
exactly.
super smart. I
But I
can't
don't-
say enough nice
but I
things
don't know
about you.
everything.
But, so, looking
Thank
at
you,
it,
though.
right?
Yeah.
So, we have been seeing the increase in trend on the overtime.
Mm-hmm.
But we also had, back in November, we were both there at that city council meeting. We were told that hiring was gonna begin in April.
Okay, yeah.
When they
that
came in
could
to
be-
ask for that money,
okay.
and, in November, I don't remember the exact date, I think it was November 27th or
Yeah,
something. November, no, it wouldn't be, because that's Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh.
November 13th, it was first week, second week, anyways. They said, and the chief was asked about, I think, at the time, Councilor Gettier
Okay.
was like, you're short-staffed. The numbers are ridiculous, this was all brought up. But it came down to, all right, well, you're short-staffed. We hire more people, that's gonna bring that number down. That's his numbers. That makes sense. Here we are, pretty much June. what's going on with the hiring process. We can't ask somebody to cut back on overtime when they're understaffed right now, 26, because of sick leave, like actual gone out on physical disability or whatever it is. Regardless, there's 26, 13 understaffed, and 13 out that aren't working. So if we lay off 6, that's 32 that aren't on the truck.
So I'm not going to get into
No,
this.
you don't have, but-
Well, because I think one has to look across the whole city. You're looking at one department. There are impacts across departments. And you have to make choices when you're in these tough situations. And I've had to lay off people. I've had to lay off people I know and worked with well in my first career. When I was young and a new manager, and you're making tough choices about how you're going to move a whole organization forward. And that means, you know, each, in this case, it's broad departments. There, I just had my department that I had to worry about. But you're making tough choices about how you're going to balance the emotion of, you know, the impact on people and the impact on everybody in the group and everybody's families, friends, because we knew each other well, but also the organization and how it's going to move forward. And I think you can make different choices and different, you know, in the same situation. Different people can look at things and weigh things differently. And here you're looking across a whole city, lots of departments, many unions, non-union people, everybody, and, you know, making choices. And yes, within one department, you might say you shouldn't lay off, but then how does that impact the rest of the city? And where do priorities about, like, education, because we had people coming in,
Yeah.
or someone come in the week before asking for more money for education. You know, those are balances, and I don't think any of these are easy choices.
And I swear I'll get it out quick.
What about doing a little lateral thinking?
That's always a good thing. Well, a lateral or creative, maybe.
Yeah.
So real
For
quick,
instance,
Sorry.
why not,
He's in charge.
why not
I know,
have,
that's right. I'm letting them.
Let Cliff talk, please.
why not have volunteer firefighters on the night shift and on the weekends? I mean, I've lived in a fairly decent-sized community that did that. Still did a great response time. One of my sons was one of the volunteer firefighters. Volunteer firefighters don't earn as much money.
So, Cliff, I don't like the idea. You're screwing very good people out of a pension.
So, if I may, I wasn't. So, Mike, I guess I didn't phrase that correctly. So it wasn't about the 6 individuals. It was.
Wait. I'm looking for an answer to my question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was. Go ahead. Sorry.
My brother is a volunteer firefighter in Pennsylvania, where there are no paid firefighters. I think he is a professional because he's been doing it for decades, and they do train as much as they can. They don't have all of the same sophisticated facilities, but they have, you know, equipment. He's volunteered lots of time in running the organization as well as, you know, going to fires. I respect what firefighters do. I respect what all of our city employees do, but I think there are trade-offs when you, and my brother, by the way, gets paid nothing whether he goes out on a call or is on call, which he is 24 hours a day. He carries his scanner, whatever, with him all the time. But there are trade-offs there, and I don't know that we are ready to move to a situation where you have to get people from whatever they're doing to the fire station to get into their gear, or get into their gear before they get there. The gear is a lot, and then get onto the truck and get out, because it's not like you can just go from where you are to the fire. You have to get the truck out. So I don't think that would necessarily give us the response time that we would want in this city, and especially in an older city. So I would not be rushing to thinking about that.
Down in Virginia, where I was living, they had a 5-minute anywhere in the county response. But but they only did the night and the weekend, so they stayed in the fire station.
Oh.
As opposed to the calling up the grocer in the middle of the day. So,
So you're
There's a
saying, I
different
just want to
approach.
understand, you're saying they stayed in the fire station nights and
Yes.
weekends, so that's tough on families. I don't know how, I mean, it's hard to get volunteer firefighters in my brother's community, because, you're not getting paid, you're on call, and you're doing it because you love your community, your neighbors, but it's, they're struggling, and this is true across the country where volunteer companies are struggling with
I
getting
got
people.
7 texts, Regina.
Okay.
Wow.
Also, the manager has the sole executive authority to appoint, supervise, and remove all department directors, like the police chief, fire chief, and public works director, and virtually all subordinate city staff. The Democrats will never take responsibility for how they treated a lifelong public official who has no business being president. Take responsibility and tell us your plan for the future. Jay. Computer hack swept under the rug. High school overruns treated like it is someone else's problem. Homeless allowed to wander through downtown and sleep on public property. Scolding council for his lack of financial knowledge. The council extended his ridiculous contract with the raise. The rubber stamp councilors should resign. Mr. Golden should resign. Grand slam, Mr. McD. Great question. He should have caught this a while ago. Good morning, Counselor. Any update on the front runner city? The school department wastes more money than the police and fire departments combined, and they only work 180 days the entire year. In Lowell's Plan E form of government, firefighters are hired by the city manager, but they are selected based on eligibility lists from the Massachusetts Civil Service System. Thank you for that.
Back to you, Cliff.
Can I just, and again, sorry, but I didn't phrase my question right. I'll make it really fast. So, at the end of the day, laying off, I'll just keep it as simple as possible. So we lay off 6 firefighters, we lay off 10 firefighters, we lay off 15 firefighters, whatever you want to do, right? Which I don't want any of it. It doesn't solve the $4 million problem, the $4 million elephant in the room. That's why I brought up the hiring. If we were to hire and we get the firehouse, the fire department to 215, which they're not at that now. I mean, ideally, we would like them at 220. That was previous meeting. Mayor Gitcher back after back then Councilor Gitcher brought that up. 220 would be ideal. We budget for 220. It'll keep if we get them to 215, I mean, the real core of the problem is the overtime. Almost $4 million, that's ridiculous. But at the same time, when you look at, that's why I asked about, so I get it. It is tough times, and we are going to have layoffs.
Jose, we have too many employees. We can take the Department of Planning and Development and cut it in half. Lay off half those people. What do? If the firefighters, they're going to save your butt. The police department are going to save your butt. The water department, you can drink the water in Lowell. Let's cut their staff. What do you think is going to happen to our water? What do you think is going to happen to saving your butt? We have to pick and choose with intelligence. What does the Department of Planning and Development do?
I don't.
But that's the end of my rant. Back to Cliff.
So, before we get to the front runner city, we're having a public hearing on the budget next Tuesday.
This coming Tuesday, correct. Yep.
So, will the citizens be invited to make their views known?
Yes, I mean, people can sign up. The agenda, if you just Google Lowell Agenda Center, that's always how I do it. It's easier than trying to remember exactly the path to it. You will see the agenda for this coming Tuesday, the 26th, and right in the agenda it says if you want to sign up to speak, you get in touch with the clerk and what email or phone you use. I think you typically have to sign up by 4 p.m., but you should read what it says in the agenda to make sure.
Belinda, on
you
that
do it
note,
right.
can somebody sign up to speak on old business?
So when you say old business, because we don't have.
It's not on the agenda.
Oh,
It's not on the agenda, but
I don't know, because we never sort of, because of public meeting laws, I don't know that you can I don't know, we can't talk about like stuff that's not on the agenda, so I don't know that there's a
so
way.
if a public person wants to get on and talk about, they want to change the color of the fire hydrants to yellow.
I think they could present a petition, and then that would be their way of
Do I need
speaking.
signatures for my position?
No.
So what's a petition?
It's just basically a one-page document that says your address.
And they'll
blah,
let
blah,
me
blah,
speak for
wants to-
5 minutes about it?
or whatever, 3 minutes, yeah.
3 minutes, okay,
But,
thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for that direction.
Yeah, so what color do you want them?
No, I'm just,
I know.
I like the white ones with the little puppy ears. So, it's a good thing you
Don't
brought.
give him ideas.
I like you brought that up because on Tuesday they weren't allowed to speak because the motion got tabled, but everybody was warned that was there, the firefighters and the register, because there was a bunch of register speakers to try to get that 800,000 allocated for the overtime. Everybody was forewarned. You speak about things that have to do with the money. If you even slightly, obviously you could throw your little comment in there, but we're here you can only speak on that one subject or you get cut off. That was made very clear to everybody in the audience that was going to speak. Obviously, unfortunately, nobody wanted to hear them plead their case to get the money, so it got benched, it got tabled, but everybody
well, I think that's a
declared.
restriction of free speech, quite frankly, because Belinda, Rita, any one of the city councilors can say whatever they want at any time. They can stray off course as much as they want to.
Actually, not by open meeting laws. We are supposed to be on topic, and that could be a violation of open meeting laws.
I very often will listen and I see a councilor take the oars completely out of the boat into the water, and it's just,
I tried to be careful. I'll put it that way.
It's not a problem unless somebody calls it out on the floor where they're like, call to order or, point of order,
Well,
Point
But
of
the-
personal privilege, Your Honor, may I?
Yeah.
What would you like to say, Ms. Faticanti? I'd like to speak about this matter, may I? And the mayor would give you a moment to say your piece, and that's how you would bring it to the floor.
But still, depending on the
Right.
gravity and substantive nature of the topic,
Mm-hmm.
that could be an open, if it's a
Right.
personal, like,
Right.
happy birthday or.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
'Cause I know
Whatever.
that's one of the big problems that a lot of people, when Facebook warriors are having was that they feel that firefighters were silenced. You don't want to give them the money, take the vote, say no, send them packing with their tail between the legs. I mean, allegedly they only used 80, and again, these aren't, I don't know, I'm waiting to confirm this, only use 83% of their current budget anyway, so that 800 was kind of like just in case money, but they didn't get a chance to go out there and plead their case. If you don't want to give them the money, say, kick rocks. Get your house in order. We're done with you. 5 years of shenanigans. What is it the manager said? But they didn't get a chance to speak.
So I will say that we never know, or I never know, I think, as a counselor, and I think most counselors don't know who is signed up to speak for what when we go into so I will just tell you that.
No,
That's the
I
case.
get that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it was targeted, but it doesn't
Well,
matter.
no, I mean, after the fact, I understand that people were signed up, but that's not I did not have that expectation. I was not told that, and I refuse to spend all my time on Facebook and social media. I think it's a waste of time because you can get down all these rabbit holes and everybody just screams louder. That's really not the way we should be running our city, or anything.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I had seen that folks would be there with not protest, is a strong word, but presence outside. That was what I saw. So that's what I understood ahead of time.
Can we
From
go
our
to the
city.
question posed
I'm
by someone who texted in? Where do we stand on this front-runner city?
So a few weeks ago, there was a agenda item about the MOU that the city was going to sign with the SICC, I can't remember what the acronym stood for, but basically an organization where the city will be collaborating to sort of take the next steps in Front Runner City. It is a really just a step, is how I would put it, in that, there's no, I mean, as I said on the floor, if, when we get to the definitive agreements where there's really commitments to give, right now it's like they'll work together to figure out the steps of how SICC will play a role in bringing investors and development and maybe having the first seat at the table in various contexts. But those details matter. I mean, the agreements I dealt with were, on the order of, depending, it ranged from no money to, to $1 billion. And you are going into all the details of what that means, who has what rights, under what circumstance, hundreds of pages of documents. That's not what this MOU was. This was the step, like, okay, we're starting, I think I drew the analogy of kind of dating. You're taking that next step in dating.
All right.
And to me, that's not surprising that we're not at the step of getting married and having a baby.
Okay.
Because this is a big deal.
Right.
And that takes quite a lot of time to pull together all of the pieces. So, the idea that there'd be shovels in the ground by now made no sense to me right from the start, because that's not how these things work. And it's not, that's true in the private sector, in finance, in everything, that you want to get your ducks in order ahead of time. So, I don't know where things stand as the next step. And we will, once sort of the budget gets through, I mean, there are a number of outstanding items we'll want reports on, but we need to get through this first, in the near term.
Cliff, I'm gonna take 90 seconds for the announcements, and I'll go right back to you. On Monday, Memorial Day, they're gonna have the town of Tewksbury's having the Memorial Day Parade. Regina's gonna be announcing that parade.
Yes. I
Oh,
can't
wow.
wait.
And
Myself
Monday,
and-
the 25th,
Yep.
starting, steps off at 11 o'clock, right in front of the Tewksbury Police Station, and it's a great time. Bring your kids to that. They toss candy out of it's a nice time. Fabric on Us. The 4th Annual Robinson's Multicultural Showcase is happening, I think, today?
No, that was yesterday.
That was yesterday, so never mind. Already gone by. Memorial Day in lovely Lowell, Massachusetts is today. Yep, we're gonna have it at the Douglas Road, 150 Douglas Road at 10 a.m. They're gonna have all kinds of things going on there, so take your fancy phone out of your pocket, take a picture, and hope to see you up there on 150 Douglas Road at 10 a.m. this morning for Memorial Day Observe. And then the Firefighters Saved Us coming up this Tuesday. Get down to City Hall, help them with their rally, and show up and support our firefighters. Today at the Lowell Senior Center, it's the 22nd. You just got to be 60 years old. The traveling chef has a nice treat they're going to serve today. It's only $2. So be there or be square. Back to you, Cliff. Thanks.
So, the Lowell Sun today mentioned that Aramark is laying off 50 employees at the Inn and Conference Center shelter. Is that going to, the shelter, is that going to revert back to the university? Do we know what the next step is?
I heard that the governor has told Marty Meehan she wants to take possession of the Inn and Conference Center. And she is taking that off his hands. Now, what she's planning on doing with that, she has not said, but so we've now lost the one and only hotel we had in the city of Lowell. But
No, we have one.
I also, pardon me?
We have one up at the Industrial Ave.
Industrial Ave. But I've also heard that the inside of that hotel is destroyed. They've ripped the doors off the rooms, that it is, it's quite a mess.
Eileen Delrossi.
It's,
Yeah.
it's quite a mess.
Wait.
Jose,
And,
will you give that extra mic to Cliff?
Yes,
And it will
sir.
take a number of, it will take a significant amount of dollars to,
Yeah, you ready to go on the
rehab
mic?
the inside of that hotel.
Okay.
And but it is now, which my understanding, what I read the other day, that the governor has taken that hotel off my man's hands.
Where did you read that? I'm
I
curious.
think it might have been the Herald,
I see. Okay.
because it wasn't the Lowell Sun.
Any guesses on what she's gonna do with it?
No,
I'm
I-
just saying,
I
you
don't know.
personal guess, not.
I don't know.
No.
I thought it would be to maintain it as it was, but now I'm seeing the Lowell Sun this morning, and if you're laying off 50 people from Aramac, then it's looking like that the people who are living there are dwindling, and so that says to me that that place is gonna be closing down.
It's supposed to be
Right.
closed down as a shelter as of June 30th.
Okay.
That's the reason.
Okay.
I only read this morning that headline and like the first paragraph
Okay.
in the Lowell Sun, but that's the reason for the layoffs by Aramark, is that it is supposed to close as a shelter.
Okay.
So
As
the
of June
Troika
30th.
has some sort of plan for the Indian Conference Center.
And it won't be good for
Who has a
Lowell.
plan?
The Troika.
Oh.
This country, this
That's a
state
new
is
word.
run,
Cliff
it's an
insists.
old word. This state is run by the Troika of the governor, the Senate president, and the Speaker of the House.
Okay.
And everybody else snaps into line.
Okay, so they have a plan. So it'll be interesting to see what the
Apparently.
plan is going to be.
And just to be clear, it has not been a hotel for a long time.
Right, exactly.
With the
Right.
the university was using it as dorms. I
Right.
think that, there is still the university has been under a financial commitment or a constraint, debt or whatever in dealing with it. So I don't know anything, I hadn't heard anything
we
about it,
haven't
but
been-
there are
right.
costs associated with the university keeping it up.
Right.
And, I don't know what the.
So we
the
haven't
plans
been
are.
using it as a hotel. However, whenever the folk festival was here, all of the people who were playing at the folk festival were staying at that.
Is that still true?
No,
I didn't
not
know.
anymore, but
What-
not since
Yeah.
this has happened, not since
Yeah. Oh,
the
sorry.
governor has taken it as taken it over for her own use. So we haven't been able to use it for several years, and we've had to go out to, send our musicians out to Chelmsford, and our volunteers out to Chelmsford.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I mean, at some point, I think it would be great if we get a hotel right-sized downtown. And I could imagine things like, I have always thought the ICC would be great as like a hotel and restaurant on the
Yes.
first but not the whole thing, on the first couple of floors. And then residences
Sure.
above, and they could be very nice residences. And you think about models like in Boston where they've built hotel residences, in luxury cases
Right.
in Boston in that format. I think you could do a lot of different things, but.
Aren't they
who knows?
gonna-
Yeah.
Regina, I know you got to skedaddle. Before you go, can you read these two?
I can. Thank you for answering my question. I was under the impression that it was a done deal. What was the trip to Toronto for? And that's from Jay. Get ready for it to be filled with migrant refugees who are going to destroy it even more. And that's from Jay.
Thanks, Regina. Have a good weekend.
All right, everybody have a wonderful
Bye.
Memorial Day weekend. If you want to see me on Monday, come to the Tewksbury Memorial Day Parade, where I will be with Judy announcing the parade. Have a good
Bye.
Memorial
Yeah,
Day, everybody.
bye,
Thank
Regina.
you.
Good to
Take
see
care.
you.
It's always good seeing you.
It's always good seeing you guys, too.
Well, isn't part of the Link project, if I remember correctly, is the ice skating, or is that something different? Part of the ice skating ring in a hotel next to the.
Oh, right, yeah, I'd
So
forgotten.
I know that's not necessarily the
No,
heart
no,
of downtown,
right.
but there was
Yeah,
talks
no,
about
that's a
that,
good
right?
point.
The-
Yeah, and there's still, I mean, as I said earlier about Frontrunner, and to Jay's comment, I mean, these things take time. When you say done deal, done at that step, you're moving forward. That's important. I think it is, I think understanding how these things are done is important. With a potential hotel and practice rink that UMass Lowell is thinking about near or by, connected to the Tsonga Center. I
think that'd be
that-
great.
Yeah, but it's early days there too. It's not even out for bid yet. It's, And so that's, it's like sort of, do you tell people about these things because you want people to start thinking about it, or do you wait until it's a done deal because you don't want people to assume it's going to happen tomorrow?
No,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't mean you. I just mean.
But it's a good thing they get it out there too,
Yeah.
because now it tells people, hey, listen, come into the city, spend some money,
Yeah.
like investors, different people. We have lots still at Hamilton Canal. What do we have? A couple lots there that we still would like to get
Yeah,
sold. So, we got a hotel, we got a skater,
Yeah.
and we got Front Runner City,
Oh,
we
yeah,
got this, we get, so we
Yeah,
do
no,
have, but let's
exactly.
be honest here,
Energy
it'll probably
is
be
good.
5 years before we see a hotel.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, hopefully
Yeah,
it's not
just-
5 years till we see shovels in the ground, but before we start talking about, when is that thing gonna be done? Realistically, maybe about 5 years. I mean,
yeah,
I
it
would
would've-
not be
that's probably
surprised.
true.
I mean, it'd be
Yeah,
nice
I'm
if it
not-
was 3, but
Yeah, no, I understand.
like John always, like Mr. McDonough always likes to say, things sometimes move at the speed of government,
I hear that term, but that's why I said earlier, if you think about what happens in the finance world, et cetera, things move at their pace. And the idea that, development, you think about development in Lowell on some of these projects. You think about the, project that's now going to be units over in Hamilton Canal that was going to be other units that fell apart when,
Because there's
a
so
different
many.
developer decided not to move forward with the original plan. That's not a government issue. That's based on financing. It's based, so I don't like that concept of speed of government, because that implies that government's slow and everything else is fast. Everything has, its own pace.
What's the only thing slower than government is the speed of the courts. Respectfully, the speed of the government, they move when they damn well please.
I think, I think it's everybody focuses on what they care about and don't think about all the other pieces that move along. And so I just think that
When
there's a
will
lot.
the Rourke Bridge be done?
I don't know the date, but it's
Well,
obviously,
nobody does.
moving along if you go
but
past it.
Belinda, respectfully, nobody
Yeah.
does. It's just a matter of when they get around to it, that's when it will open.
There you're talking about contractors who are doing work on a contracted schedule. I don't know what the schedule is off the top of my head, but you think about getting your house done. We need a roof to be dealt with, because we had ice
Now,
dams
I
this
don't know
winter.
if you
It's
were in
gonna take.
office when we had that computer hacking thing.
Yeah, no,
It was
I
a big
not yet.
secret, big secret. City wouldn't even admit that it had been hacked. And to this day, brought up a little earlier, did we pay them off? Nobody knows. And we should.
And so I will say, if this were a private company, the fact that you don't know up front makes sense to me, until you have to, by law, notify people, because you need to get your ducks in a row. The fact that we are in government is the reason why ultimately, unlike a private company, unlike even a publicly traded company, if that didn't rise to the level of being material, you would never know whether they paid or not. But it is.
Well, how much taxpayer information do you think they stole from the Treasurer's Department?
It's a good. I don't know, and that maybe.
And we never will. Back over to Cliff. Thank you for your patience.
Okay.
Fiery Friday today. It's Fun Friday. Actually,
So,
not fiery. We're having
Let's
fun.
have some fun.
Yeah.
Instead of
Anything else
fiery.
going on in the city?
Anything else? Like what?
I don't
There's
know.
lots.
You got a little surprise for us somewhere?
Oh, that's a different story than anything else going on.
Are we
I mean-
going to destroy
Oh, yeah.
Andover Street in the name of traffic calming? And back up traffic even more before we've built the Marie Sweeney Bridge, which is desperately needed?
If I hadn't been on last time, I wouldn't know what you meant by the Marie Sweeney Bridge. So, so at some point, Andover Street will get repaired. That's what because the city and residents decided to maintain the concrete there. the money from the state will allow for repair of certain panels. The way that will be done, that's not on the schedule for this year, so you don't have to worry about traffic changing this year as a result of construction. That because it's going to be discrete panels that get, addressed as they need to be, there should be really little impact. There won't be like major closures. It'll be very, as I said, discrete, work to be done. And there is no change to the configuration as part of the state's funding. So and I know residents at the Belvedere Neighborhood Association meeting, not this month, which was Wednesday, but in April, some residents who live there asked about striping and how that's going to be dealt with to address, speed and traffic calming. And, at the right point, Liz Altman, the transportation engineer, has offered to meet with residents to talk through that. I think any other changes to the configuration are going to require the city to find the money to do that. And, it's not going to happen this year, for sure.
So no bike lanes on Andover Street?
I mean, so maybe, I don't know like when they think about striping, what that means. The NEMCOG, the Northern Middlesex Council of Governments, is working on a pedestrian bike plan for the whole region, which consists of 9 communities, and they're looking at, sort of how all that fits together. I have not looked at how Andover Street fits into that mix. So I don't know the answer to that, but I think in the short term, we're not, changing things. And just one quick thing, and I think one thing that's worth looking at is, I think it was the March 24th meeting where there was a presentation on all of the work that's been done on our streets in the last 5 years and the plan for 2026. And that's a 43-page report, which goes into detail on like which sidewalks, which streets were paved, which were repaired, which had, whole street kind of things, which include bike lanes. Every street that was done, like from what corner to what corner, what the measurement was, how many feet or, tenths of miles, and what the cost was for each of the last 5 years. And as well as the flow chart for how decisions are made about paving. And so I think that information is helpful, and you see, the investment that's been made and the cost it takes to do that. The flow chart, I think, is helpful because it really lays out sort of how the decisions are made. And I know some residents have said parts of it might be a little more subjective than they'd like. I have suggested that folks who really look at that, and if you have thoughts, let's get together, get a group of people together, not to complain or not to say my street should go to the top of the list, but to say, okay, maybe we can help, provide guidance about like, okay, we don't understand X, let's figure out with the city, the city engineers have been really great at talking that through and being willing to talk about it. So I think we can help the city, if we think things could be improved in how it makes decisions.
I think people would be surprised if you actually, find that's why I love that you always bring up, like, let's have a page or something where we can get info. Because the city actually does have a lot of events where they're like, come over here, we'll give you a free hot dog, but we want to hear about what you want to do with your park, what you want to do with this. And unfortunately, you show up to these events, and once the hot dogs are gone, the people are gone. Not to sound, but nobody stays behind and talks to the engineers and talks about the parks, talks about and then we go and complain about it, when it's like, they want,
Jose, can you read these, please?
Absolutely. One more question. Why is the high school not being mentioned anymore? What's the next step?
Well,
It's hanging out with the senior center. Fairmount Street update. Will it be paved in 2026, like we were told? Jay. With all the changes made at the intersections of Rogers Street, Fairmount, and Laurel, has the intersection been improved or is it more congested? I don't live over there,
Back
so.
to you, Cliff, thanks.
You live
There
over
was
there.
a question.
You want it back?
Yeah, the first question, the first comment, I thought it had a question in it. Oh, the high school. I don't want it back. All right, so we've asked for an audit, or we're gonna get an audit?
Well, there was a motion made and approved, but, I mean, you know, I don't know how long, I have no idea how long it takes to do an audit and what
Okay.
that, truly, I don't know exactly what that entails. You know, the question I think was, like, why haven't we been hearing about the high school? I mean, so we haven't been hearing complaints about the high school, but the high school is gonna have its graduation, I forget the exact date, but coming up. I was there yesterday because Katie's Closet, which provides
Great
clothing,
program.
free clothing and now toiletries and things like that, to students in need. They had their grand kind of reopening because they're in a new space in the new part of the high school. So I was in the high school yesterday. While classes were going on, students were there. It was, I mean, it's what high school is, which is just an energetic place, because I was there in, like, at part of the time was when classes were switching, you know, to teachers talking with students, engaging. They were going to talk about graphs in one of the classes that was right near there. And some folks saying, you know, that person, as a student was going by, that person's a superstar. And like that, the fact that, you know, teachers know their students. I mean, the high school is going along. People are, it is working. And so, you know, the fact that we're not complaining every day is a good thing.
Thank you for saying
Is
that stuff,
anybody
though.
talking?
You don't hear about the good stuff. You only hear about
Does
the
Eileen
negative.
have any ideas?
Apparently not.
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, thank you. I'd
I'll
forgotten
get
she
to,
was here.
I'll get to
Thank you.
Eileen in a second.
Okay.
Is anybody talking about downloading the traffic from Rogers and Nesmith? I mean, it's pretty crowded.
Depends on when you go. It's actually, truly, I mean, no, I
That's
mean,
true.
but, I mean, so, so, I mean, what does downloading mean? I mean, where are you gonna put the cars?
That's a good, I love that you asked that, Belinda. Well, quite frankly, Cliff, we need to have smart traffic lights and to have somebody who can program the traffic lights properly. You would not have the clog that you have on Andover Street if the light at the corner of East Merrimack and Nesmith was married to it. Because the light would turn green and bam, they send you off to Centerville. You're done. Those lights should turn green and clear out that clog, like the light at the end of Highland Street. It's 30 seconds each way. Stupid. Rita Mercia always has that fixed for 30 seconds, no, 15 seconds one way, 45 seconds the other way. When it's 45 seconds green on Gorham Street, the connect is empty at 4 o'clock. When it's 30 and 30, the connect is jammed up to Plain Street. It's a stupid traffic light at the corner of Highland and Gorham. I'm not asking for it to be changed, but that's just my argument.
I would ask for a light to be changed over there when you're coming from downtown, heading towards the courthouse. You know, you could take the left, Dunkin' Donuts is on your right. The other day, I'm not even kidding you, I sat there 4 light cycles, and just to be stubborn so that I can go on here or go on the radio and say, I sat there, and I could have taken the right, you know, and gone around. There was no traffic, and I just sat there, and I was fuming. I'm like, one more song, this light better turn. Whole thing cycles, people are taking the right, nothing. I'm like, one
I
more.
think Cliff wanted to talk to Eileen.
Sorry, Cliff.
Now I know you better, Jose. Now I understand you better.
I'm not convinced that the producer's suggestion is the solution, but I think the traffic engineer needs to be creative. So I saw in the paper that there's a lawsuit accusing schools in Massachusetts of segregating students. And apparently it's, the argument is the state's illegally maintaining schools that are racially segregated. concentrating Black and Latino students in high poverty areas. And they mentioned Springfield, Holyoke, Boston, Lawrence, Brockton, Lynn, and Worcester. We didn't get mentioned, but should students from, say, Lowell be allowed to go to school in Tewksbury or Chelmsford or Tingsboro? Is that part of the system, Eileen?
It used to be. I know that. But I think it's not recommended lately to have that option, that school choice option. We just had a vote on it, actually, this last school committee meeting. But, I mean, the thing is this is like it's other schools districts that also don't really want a part of it, because just look at what Lowell's spending in the homeless students, McKinney-Vento, all the small bus transportation that we're spending, just looking at the permission to enter. You know, if a student chooses that district, then Lowell has to pay that district also, on top of everything else that we're paying for, McKinney-Vento, special ed. So I think it gets convoluted, and it's, yeah. The exact vote I would have to look at so I could inform better, but it's something that's not, it's not very much encouraged lately because of all the other needs in districts and in inner city districts such as Lowell.
So the DESE spokesperson, Jacqueline Reese, said, Massachusetts leads the nation in student achievement, and we are committed to building on this progress to strengthen our education system for every student in our state. Except we
Has she
don't
been in
lead.
a classroom?
No. And we don't lead. We've fallen to third place. So is the state failing Black and Latino students, or are their parents failing them?
Well, I don't know where the State Department of Education has been for the past few years in terms of accountability and support for our school districts. So I don't think you could even factor the state in, besides saying where have they been and what are they doing. I think so it falls on parents and the student and the culture, like the culture of respect for school. And you either have it or you don't. It doesn't matter what culture you are. It's a view of respecting education and all that education has to offer. Why would you respect education if you know that you can get everything for free as soon as you graduate high school and continue to work the system?
Over to you, Jose.
Jose, I got a bunch of checks I want you
Yeah,
to
we'll
take
read the
care of.
text. I don't even want to touch that subject. I think we've had enough fun today. Regina had the best question ever asked on bike lanes. How many of the elected officials drove a bike to the meeting? This is for the person inquiring about the Lowell High School update. Please watch. Oh, thank you.
I guess it's the city council meeting for
School.
school committee meeting.
So they were
School
just
building
They were just
committee.
talking about it yesterday.
School building, so you go on LTC site and just
I think
look for
that's
this
what they're
guy.
saying.
YouTube,
Thank you.
whatever.
Yeah.
Nice show. Enjoy the long Memorial Day weekend. You too. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. As always, thank you, Colonel Flowers, for your service. Bart.
That was Cliff's nickname in the Air Force.
Oh, really?
Yep.
No, are you serious? I didn't know that.
I picked it up in a latrine in Da Nang.
Oh, God, I don't think I want to know that
There's a
story.
good story to
It
this.
is? Okay, tell me.
Let's hear it.
Well, two guys who had been
The
in
short version.
We have 8 minutes. We're gonna-
my wife's late husband's squadron, when he was killed, cycled back through Tampa, MacDill Air Force Base, and came at 4 front seaters. I became a back seater. So they, based on the song Clifton Clowers, they decided that I should be Flowers.
Ah, okay. What was the song? Clifton?
Clifton Clowers on Wolverton Mountain.
No, I don't know that song.
Let's hear a little bit of it, Cliff.
No, it's a very popular song.
Is it? No, I just
He's
hadn't heard
ready.
of it.
Let's
Don't
hear it.
go.
No,
Oh,
I've choked up. I can't remember the words.
Oh, because you looked like you were ready.
Oh, I'm going to write that down. Clifton Clowers. Yeah, I don't know that one.
Wolverton Mountain is the song. So, what have we? What are you doing on the school committee this coming week, Eileen?
So we had our meeting Wednesday. There was a lot of spotlight on excellence, the Knowledge Bowl, and the sale of biliteracy for students to really find value in their original language and writing and so forth. So that was interesting to learn about. And then we had motions and votes. Dominic Lay had a motion into for a dress code requirement, and teachers came and spoke. And I think until we get our buildings HVAC and temperature controlled, I think that's really hard to put that motion on after teachers have been really stressed enough about budget and losing positions, and I feel like that was the icing on the top of the cake, so voted no on that. What else happened? There was a meeting about Retirement Plus and how some teachers didn't know about the Retirement Plus because they could have been on maternity leave or something to that effect. Because a million different reasons. And Retirement Plus is when you give the plus 2%, so you give 11% for your retirement instead of the 9%. And so I guess that came out at a time, and if a teacher was on leave or something, they didn't get the information or a change of address. So there's a new bill coming out in November they want everyone to vote on, so that if somebody missed the enrollment for it, they'll be able to enroll in it.
Can you talk for a second about original language? What does that mean?
Yeah, so it's called the Sale of Biliteracy. It's a 4 to 6 hour test that one of the teachers at Bullhigh, I believe it's Susan Bloodthorne, initiated in the system in Bull Public Schools, so that students are able to really become proficient and understand the value of their original language in reading and writing. So a lot of kids got a sale of biliteracy in dual languages such as Spanish and Portuguese, some Spanish, some Khmer, but really how to bring their language to life verbally and in writing.
So we only got 4 minutes left. Belinda, is there anything on your mind you wanted to make sure we discussed this morning we didn't talk about?
Thank you. I hadn't prepared except to mention about the Memorial Day event today, which is at 10 o'clock at Veterans Park, which you mentioned is on Douglas Road. It's right across
150 Douglas. yeah.
Yes, it's right across from the Riley School, so it's really convenient. And so I'm going to that event, and I think it'll be great to honor all of the veterans.
Happy it's a dry day.
Yes, I know this weekend or Sunday does not seem like it'll be good, but I do wish everybody. I am scheduling my next meet and greet. We have had we've done them from November till April. It'll probably be we haven't done one in May. We're trying to get connection with this one location. We're trying to scatter it throughout the district so that we're not like trying to favor any one location. But we've had them at the Dunkin' Donuts, at the Kilkenny Pub, at the Corner Cafe, and we're probably going to do one in early June, but I don't have the date yet.
You have the chutzpah to maybe have a city cookout on Shed Park
I have to get
I
my
know,
act
I know it's a
together.
lot of
No,
work, but I mean, you could put a lot of needles and thread together.
Yeah, no, you're
To
right.
make
You're
that a
right. I
city
need
event
to,
and just, I'm picking Shed Park because they have that big
Yeah, the
gigantic
pavilion,
building
yeah.
you can cook under
yeah,
and,
yeah.
just something to put in your ear, thank you.
Okay, no, thank you. It's a great idea. It's it's a lot of work, but yes, I'll think about it. It is a great idea.
So Jose,
And Belinda,
Yes.
can I just make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Maybe you can ask one of the 656 nonprofits in the city to help support you to
681.
put food out.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, we support a lot of the nonprofits and really value what they contribute. But yeah,
so Jose, are we holding students back with too much emphasis on bilingual? I was in CVS the other day, and some nice young lady was there with her child, who I guess was around 2, very active, a positive young child, and she was speaking to the child in Spanish as opposed to English. Is that going to hold the child back a little bit?
No, if anything, that's gonna, that'd be like going back and a lot of people here in Lowell criticizing their grandparents because they only know how to speak French.
Jose, can you imagine how prosperous you would be if you only spoke Spanish?
but I
How,
spoke.
well,
but-
how well would you do?
But that child, at this day,
I got
highly...
two texts for you when you're done.
But before, I spoke German as my first language because my parents had been immigrants from Austria. So I think I've done well, and I learned English. In the home, English was not their first language, but German was mine. And
You should hear me talk Spanish. I can talk
Yeah,
Mexican
so-
and
You got
Puerto
60
Rican Spanish.
seconds, kids.
And I
But-
want to say goodbye to everybody. So let me read this. When you have school choices, that parent is responsible to provide the transportation. Big red dog.
Yeah.
And I know we only have 60 seconds, but I will try to make it on this show again. Thank you to all the listeners, everybody that watches. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to be on here with you. Because like I said, I think next week we're going to announce that I'm going to be taking over the morning show. So unless
You think?
well, it's up to me right now, but we'll see. But I don't want to take up too much of the time. Again, you guys are the best. Everybody in this room and everybody out there that watches. This is, to sound corny, this isn't goodbye. It's see you later.
Belinda, thank you for coming
Oh,
in.
thank you. And I have my Lowell Folk Festival mug, so I'm just can't figure out where the camera
You're
is.
such a good sport. God
So I'm
bless you.
just trying to remind people, end of July, coming up.
Can't wait. So excited for that.
We'll
Thanks,
see you-
Eileen.
See you next time.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you,
Eileen.
guys.
Bye.
Have a good
Good to see
weekend,
you,
everybody.
everybody. Have a great
Bye-bye.
holiday and happy Memorial Day. Happy is.
I'm going to